Hello, good to see you again. Today's gig was another recording gig. This was actually a continuation from another recording gig I had maybe about a month or so ago. They added a couple more tracks, so I was in the studio doing that today. So this time I did a lot of prep before going into the studio so that when I was there, the recording process was more streamlined. So for starters, I made another one of these mind map things that you might have seen in a previous vlog. I had that all ready to go when I was in the studio. I set up all of the tracks beforehand, and this time around, I already knew what types of mics that I wanted to use for what types of drums. And I had to mark up the music because for whatever reason for this gig, they a lot of times will have the rhythm, but they have no articulations. So there's no accents. Sometimes they want a roll, but there's no roll written in. So I had to do a lot of listening and like annotating to try to make sure that I got the sound that they were looking for. There's actually a little tricky part here, dotted 16th notes that almost make it sound like a triplet. So I've been practicing that. So I set the metronome here to 80, which is the tempo of the piece. And then I've just been drilling that phrase for a while. So it sounds like this. This is the drill I came up with. And I'm just trying to create a drill so that I can get that feel internalized, and then it'll be easier to record. Something that was still a little bit difficult with this one though is, like last time, the parts are very generally labeled. So there's like low taiko 1 and low taiko 2. And sometimes, even though it says low taiko, there are multiple drums in the reference track. So I've just been kind of going off of what the reference track sounds like and trying to get something close to that. And that actually ate up a lot of time this time. They wanted, I can't remember the name. It's a drum that they use in like no or kabuki. I don't have one of those drums. I don't know how to play those drums. From what I understand, it's really hard to get a good sound out of that drum. So I just had to try to do my best and play something that sounded somewhat similar. So that was a bit of a challenge. So 2 songs today took me like 6 or 7 hours, something like that, which is way more time than it would take if I were in a different kind of setting, like a movie or Netflix or something like that. But again, I'm doing everything. I'm setting up the mics. I'm doing all the computer work. I'm doing all the editing. So yeah, it takes so much longer to do it by yourself. So now I just need to label the tracks so it's nice and easy for the engineer, whoever I send it to. They'll be able to understand what I recorded. And then hopefully in a few months, I'm not actually sure when this is supposed to be released, but hopefully I'll be able to talk about it at some point. Which reminds me, I need to ask the guy what this thing is called. So at least I know what to look out for, and then I can let you know when it comes out. Well, that about does it for today. Thanks so much for watching all the way to the end. As always, if you have any comments or questions, please let me know. Subscribe if you would like, and I will see you again soon. Bye.